Hello and welcome to Wrestling with Real Estate, where we look to chokeslam all your real estate problems. I'm your host, former WWE wrestler and now Cirque du Soleil performer, and of course, multifamily real estate investor Barry Griffiths. Now today we're joined by Tim Lyons again. Hey Tim, how you doing, man?
Hey Barry, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm excited to have you back. We had a great great first interview. So if people haven't listened to that yet, go back to the previous episode and check that out, because that was a great conversation and really enjoyed it. There's a lot of great nuggets and a lot to learn from there, and a lot of inspiration to take out of it, I think, as well. So go back and listen to that. But today we're going to focus and take a deeper dive into one subject. And we talked about this before. As you've been quite successful at capital raising and raising capital, we thought we'd take a deeper dive into that. If that's cool with you, does that sound good to you?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
Cool. So for people who don't understand, maybe break it down how it works to start off with. What does capital raising mean? What are you raising capital for? What does that mean? What does it look like? What is it a syndication essentially mean in terms of raising capital, I guess?
Cool. Yeah. So again, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be a part of your show. So I'm just grateful for that. So, people want to get involved in real estate and they think of single family properties, or they think of a condo or, a duplex, and that's all great stuff. And, fix and flips, although it's debatable whether fix and flips is really investing, because it's more like a full-time job. But anyway, I digress. People don't know about, or they've never heard about, multifamily syndication or self-storage syndication. And syndication is a fancy term for a group investment. So you're driving down the highway and you see an office building, or you see a large multifamily apartment complex. Chances are it's either owned by a real estate, like a REIT, like a real estate investment trust, or, people like me who get a bunch of people together, and we have this group investment, and we take down a larger property than any one of us individually would be able to take down. And that's really the way that the real estate market works, and as far as commercial real estate. So how do you get involved, and how can you know who's doing this? Well, there's sponsors out there, and the sponsors are the people that take down the deal. They get it under contract and do the due diligence and make sure everything pencils out. And then they need capital, right? They need, say, 5, 10, 15, $30 million of equity to take down whatever particular real estate property asset that they want to take down. And a lot of these sponsors can raise a couple $1 million, by themselves, but they need a little bit, they need some more, right? People are always going to run out of money when it comes to, real estate, because there's just more deals than there is capital usually available from any one source. So that's where we come in at Cityside Capital. We have relationships with investors that want to get involved in these bigger deals, and they want to be passive and collect the cash flow, and then they want to have the upside. So, syndication is nothing more than a fancy term for group investment.
Yeah.
Barry, does that answer the question?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great explanation. Yeah, because it's like, for most people, like you said, driving around, when you don't think about it, you see these large buildings, these large apartments, and you think, oh, they're just owned by some huge company or some super rich people. But when you realize it's people like you and me, and just ordinary people that are taking down these deals, it's quite mind blowing. Really, it's really cool to kind of hear that and realize that. So. I think it's important that people realize and understand that they can be part of something like this, right? If they want to be, they can be part of something like this. How did you? So when you started out, how did you start capital raising? Because it can be a challenge to start off with, right? It can be, it's definitely very doable, but it's challenging to start off with, right?
Capital raising to me in the beginning was a insurmountable challenge. I didn't think that I could raise, $100 from people to take down, a property. I just didn't think it was possible. I had that imposter syndrome that, some entrepreneurs suffer from. Like, who am I to do this? Who am I to be, raising $50,000 at a time, say, from my friends and family, right? Because at the end of the day, like when I first got started in this, I knew it worked, and I had certainty, and I had clarity, and I understood the process. But it's really bringing, your investors, your friends and family at first, probably, and your colleagues, right? people that know you, like you, and trust you. And those are the three ingredients you need to raise capital. Is you have to have people that know you, like you, and trust you. If any one of those are missing, well, then they're not going to invest any money with you, because, you know, when we're talking about 25, 50, 100, 200K at a time, you know, they have to have those things. So I really had to work on, you know, my mindset and understanding what my role was within real estate and what my role was within Cityside Capital, and how I could support my investors who were my friends, family, colleagues, and et cetera. So once I was able to kind of reframe where I was coming from, I was no longer just Tim the firefighter, Tim the ER nurse. I was now Tim the real estate investor, you know, because that's what I was doing. And that's what I had to kind of embody and have that narrative in my head. Because if you don't have that clarity and confidence when you're talking to people about, you know, investments or cap rates or, you know, vacancy and business plans and equity multiples and cash on cash returns, like, then no one's going to invest with you, because, you know, nice idea, Tim, but, you know, I'll talk to you, you know, later, you know? So it was really that mindset shift and really kind of taking ownership over the material. And since I was doing it and I was living it and I was understanding it and I was participating in it, you know, as time goes on, you get a little better about, you know, how do you kind of come to your investors and tell them about this? And what I found was, you just can't have, you could have the most smoking hot deal known to man. You're going to quadruple someone's money, right? And I would understand that you haven't seen maybe in a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever, and just start hitting them with cash on cash returns and equity multiples, hold times and IRR and business plans. I mean, they're going to shut down like in the first 30 seconds, because they don't understand that, and it's too technical. And Barry, as you know, a confused mind will always say no, because people are either moving towards pleasure or moving away from pain. That's what we're doing all day long. We're moving away from pain and moving towards pleasure. So, you know, I had to really kind of dive into, well, how do you talk to people about investing? And really, you know, what I found was, if you're just authentic and you're just a connector with people, and you really want, you know, you hear what they're looking for and you find out what their goals are, you know, like, are you even interested in real estate, you know, or should we talk about stocks or baseball? I don't know. Maybe let's talk about our kids. Like, you know, but if you're interested in real estate and finding out what people's goals are and seeing where they came from, have you ever been involved in real estate, or have you not? And do you want to be involved? Do you want to be active? Do you want to be passive? You know, do you even know what that is? You know, and the more you can educate people and bring them on that journey and not just crush them with a smoking hot deal, because that's never going to work. And I think in the beginning, you know, everyone has to start somewhere with capital raising, and I didn't understand that. So the people for my first deal, who I thought were going to be my heavy hitters, my people who were guaranteed to be in this deal, those are the ones that just didn't, you know, invest with me, and I couldn't understand why. And the people that, you know, were actually interested in real estate and were watching me and seeing what I was doing with my three family, those are the people that kind of said, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more about it, you know? So it was really kind of like a learning process, but I learned very quickly, because I was associated with a network of people who were doing what I wanted to do. And by just networking and hearing their stories and hearing, you know, how they were doing things, I kind of incorporated all of that. So now I do talk to people from a position of, you know, how can I serve you? How can I support you? What are your goals? You know, as far as cash flow, as far as, you know, building wealth, as far as, you know, tax mitigation. And once you have, you know, a position once you know what the position of your investor is and where they're coming from, you can absolutely serve them in a much better capacity. And that is the magic of raising capital, because, you know, now you're bringing them on the journey and keeping them in the driver's seat. And you're just a connector between the deal and them coming out on top with more cash flow and being involved in real estate.
I love that. And it's understanding what's important to them, right? And seeing if it's a fit, it's a fit. If it's not, they might say, no, real estate. real estate might not be something that fits in with what their goals and their aspirations and what they're trying to achieve. So then obviously, you know, this is not a good fit for them, and you can serve them by saying, hey, I don't think real estate is a fit for them, right? And I think that's going to go a lot further than, like you said, trying to push on a deal. Hey, I've got this great deal. Here you go. This deal, right? It's trying to understand what's important to them and figuring out what's best for them, regardless, irrespective of what you're trying to do. I think it's so important. That's such a great way to look at it. How initially, I'm guessing it was friends and family, right? But at some point you get tapped out with that, right? How then are you meeting investors now? How are you getting in front of people that you don't know? And then also, how do you, like you said, the people that you know, they're going to, you know, I'm guessing they know and trust you, right? Hopefully, I'm guessing. But then once you start, but once you start going outside of that circle, then you've got to re-earn that the like, the trust, right? So how are you finding the investors, and then how are you working on those three concepts?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's really kind of like what everybody struggles with. Like, once you tap out your immediate family, your friends, your cousins, your colleagues, like, if you have 10 deals a year and it's a 50,000 minimum, I mean, very quickly you're going to just rifle through your immediate ecosystem. So you have to go and find, other people. So, I mean, for me, I was hearing all these stories on podcasts. I mean, I'm a podcast junkie. If I go to the supermarket and I have a 6-minute ride, I'm taking in 6 minutes of a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing all these people, and all these regular Joes, regular people just like myself, are involved in real estate, and they're telling their stories, and it's resonating with me in a huge way. I mean, I'm passionate about it. I'm saying, I got to call this guy. I got to email that girl. Like, their story was so powerful, and they're doing something that I want to do. So I very quickly said to myself, let me get on a podcast. Let me share with the world what I'm doing. I'm a regular guy. I'm a firefighter. I'm an ER nurse. I'm a dad. I'm just trying to make it happen. And here's what I'm doing. Here's where I've been successful. Here's how, here's what I can do maybe for you, and support you in your investing journey. And, all of a sudden, like, I wake up in the morning and I got, a Calendly link filled with phone calls and, emails, people coming to the website, and people downloading, free content from our website, and people asking me to give webinars at their meetups. And by doing that, just by educating people and telling them, really, yes, I'm going to tell them how it works and the technicals and the fundamentals of syndication, but really telling them how I did it and telling them my story. And when people can see that experience and feel it and resonate with it, there's so much more that kind of happens, and that's why I like now that COVID's kind of down and down and out, right? And everything's opening back up. We're actually able to shake everybody's hand again and go out and meet people. Like, that's where I find that a lot of people just, want to talk more. And those are the new investors that I'm getting. So it's webinars, it's podcasts, it's putting out a blog post every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks sometimes. It's being active on social media, and not just telling people when you have a deal or something like that, or that you closed on a deal, but it's actually, responding to people's comments, responding to people's direct messages, and adding that value. So, so that people do want to engage with you some more.
Very cool. Very cool. So if someone was starting out now and they thought, okay, capital raising is what I think I could be good at and be part of a syndication, do you have any tips, any suggestions how they should get started, what they should focus on starting out?
Yeah, I think social media is very powerful. I think having a website, having a website is kind of like having a job at this point. Like, you just need it, or not having a job. Like, it's a requirement, right? I mean, when people want to find out something about Timmy Lyons, they go right to Google and they type in Tim Lyons real estate or Tim Lyons Cityside Capital. And if I was trying to do this without a website, it wouldn't work, because no one would know what I do or how it works, right? So having a website, whether you spend 10 grand or 1,000 on it, or you do it yourself, having a home base and then adding some value, right? So put a blog post up, put some videos up, Maybe it's just a journal entry. Today I went to 3 of my properties, or I looked for 3 properties. I spoke to 2 brokers, and here's what my experience was. I think people find some real value in saying, I'm scared to do this, and I'm going to sit on the sideline, and I'm going to take in content and go to conferences and read books. But if someone can really resonate with what you're doing and kind of in real time, kind of come on that journey with you, it's really powerful. So, start a blog, start a video blog, start a YouTube channel, get on there, put some content out that, short little hits. No one wants a huge, research paper. You don't want to get a PhD every time you want to find something out, but you want to just kind of do that. So, that would be if I had to do it all over again, I'm starting the website and I'm starting some content on day one.
Very cool. Very cool. And, like you said earlier, if you could raise capital and bring capital, right? No deals happen without capital, and no general partners are saying, "Hey, I don't want more money. Don't bring any money towards me." Nobody's saying that. So I think it's such a great skill to have. It's always something that's going to be exceptionally valuable, and it's always going to be necessary, right? And it's like you said, the great thing about syndication is that you're able to pull people's money in, and that normal people are able 100%. To be part of these deals, and that everybody wins. So I think being able to raise capital is such a phenomenal skill, and obviously you're very good at it. So I appreciate you sharing that, man. But before we go, if people want to get in touch with you, people want to find out more about you, how can they do so? And also, I believe you have a book, so please make sure to mention that as well.
Yeah, I was blessed and grateful to be a part of a #1 Amazon best-selling book with some celebrity authorities. Really check it out. It's a free download on my website. My website is citysidecap.com, CITYSIDECAP.com. That's the name of our company, Cityside Capital. And I'm more than happy to talk to the newbie investor, to the seasoned investor, anybody who wants to chat. I'm more than happy to connect.
Cool. Well, Tim, thank you so much, man. We had a great two-part series, so I'm sure a lot of great information for a lot of people. So thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, Barry, thank you so much. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon.